first field goal attempt in Austin Stadium in your college career. What was that like, being out there and hitting that field?
It was a great opportunity, and I just wanted to make the most of it. My dad was there, so having him there and seeing my first one was a big thing. It was a good experience. I'm glad it went through. Obviously, it wasn't a great kick. I mean, it didn't get very much height on this, and I'm not going to make anything up. But I'm glad it went through. It was a great feeling.
Was your dad a kicker?
He wasn't. No, he was a defensive end in high school, and then went on to vet school at Iowa State. So it wasn't anything like that.
How'd you get into kicking?
Played soccer for a while, and then got tired of getting red cards. And I was like, I'm gonna try football. I didn't even want to kick in high school or anything like that. And then kicked one ball because I was punt returning, and my coach was like, "Who kicked that?" And I raised my hand. He said, "All right, you're our guy." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." So.
What was the highest level of soccer you guys played?
Classic. It's obviously a club team, but it's like there's in North Carolina we had like Challenge, we had Premier, then we had Classic, and it was kind of like a semi-pro type of thing.
Yeah. So red cards for what? For over aggressiveness?
Yeah, it was just I was like the biggest guy on the field at that time. And it was just kind of using my body, and they kept on giving me red cards. And I had a little bit of a temper, so it was kind of football was more suited for me.
Right. Coming from North Carolina all the way out here to Oregon, why'd you make that decision?
The people. When I got out here, Coach he was recruiting me, back in January, whenever it was, my junior year, and I was just like, that's Oregon, that's all the way across the country, and that's not really realistic. And I'm really tight with my family, so I tried to try to make that into the accommodations, where I would go. And after I came out here for the camp, it was just kind of like, this is exactly where I want to be. I mean, I'm a big hunter and fisher, and it was like the atmosphere and the culture out here is just exactly what I wanted. And it was an easy decision. Other than being the distance, but my parents, moms came to one game, dads came to the other game, and they both went to the Virginia game, so it's kind of worked out in both ways in that case.
That was nice. Your second game was close to home.
We had 22 people there, so.
Nice. The most on the team, do you know?
I think one person had 26, but I guess if I would have gotten a couple more tickets, I'm a young guy, so I didn't get to get as many tickets. But no, it was good. There was a lot of people there, and it was a good time.
Oregon doesn't, or at least didn't, kick a lot of field goals. Did that play into your decision? Did you consider that at all?
No, because the ones that they do, it counts. I recognize that, and it kind of it stuck to me that if I can do that, and kickoffs and punts as well. So I'm still trying to get back into the bunch. I didn't punt very well in fall camp, and so just trying to keep working and keep getting better every week.
You want to do both as opposed to specializing in one?
I would love to. I mean, it's there's not many guys in the NFL that do, if any. But I feel like if you have that, extra thing on to your list, then, they can say, okay, if our, number one punter gets down, then, we have number two, that's maybe not as good or maybe is as good. And so it kind of gives you a little bit more, I guess you can say credit going to something like that.
Hard when you have to do both? Is there a different mindset at all, or is it easy to kind of...
I did it in high school. Yeah, I did it in high school. And so it wasn't, I can't say it was harder to do both or easier to do both. I played tight end as well in high school.
Okay.
So, I mean, it wasn't like, going from this to that was easy or hard, but, I guess just, not really focusing on your job and just doing the task at hand.
You challenge Johnny Mundt at tight end now?
He's my roommate, so I don't know about that.
Okay.
But no, he's a stud. I mean, he showed up in the game, so.
Yeah, what have the past 2 days been like living with him? He's kind of, he burst onto the scene.
He's the same guy.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, he's not going to change. You can tell he's, from a really, just good family. And I met both his parents many times, and went out to eat with him and all that kind of good stuff. And he's a great guy, and it just shows in his character, and that he's not. I mean, it doesn't matter if he has 800 guys follow him in one day or anything like that. It's which happened. So he's the same guy.
Hey, kickoffs. How would you assess how you've done on kickoffs so far?
Not to my ability. First game obviously is squib and then 2 out of bounds, and that's not me. And then the next game I had a squib, and then I had a couple touchbacks, whatever. But it's not really about kicking a touchback or kicking not a squib or going out of bounds or whatever it is. It's about just kicking a good ball. And I think my best ball this whole entire year was probably the last kickoff this last game going into the wind, and it landed on the goal line. And it was just I made good contact with it. I didn't try to rush it. I didn't try to kill it. I just kind of just focused on the small things and went for it. And I hit it very good, and they got a lot of hang time and this and that. And we got them down on, I don't know, it was like the 11 or 12 yard line, and then we had a re-kick, so that's probably the best one.
Is it tough to be in an ongoing competition into the year and not have it settled in the fall camp?
No, it's actually really helpful because in high school I was competing against a kid named Stephen Muscarella, which is now kicking for UNC Charlotte. And having him, I lost the competition my junior year. He was a senior, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me. You know, that feeling of, you know, losing the competition and losing the starting job after I had it for my freshman and sophomore year was the best thing that could happen. You know, it faced me with adversity and kind of, you know, prepared me for this kind of situation. And I feel like, I mean, competition is what makes you get better. You know, once you're satisfied with how you're doing and you don't have much competition, you're kind of, you know, just kind of, you know, coasting, I guess you could say. So.
Can you talk about the pressure that goes along with, you know, what you do and how often you face that?
I try to make every kick the same. So, you know, if it's a game winner versus you know, the first kick I get, you know, is, you know, for in Tennessee circumstances, I don't really think of, you know, the game being won off of me or lost off of me. Or I just feel like I'm going out there to kick the ball and they're going out there to catch a pass or throw a ball or run the ball or take a pick or whatever it is. And it's you know, the same circumstances. You know, they try to face anything with that kind of, you know, it's facing the same, going forward with it the same way almost. You know, just kind of, you know, making every kick the same.
Do you have any sort of routine that maybe helps you calm down or anything like that?
We do some mental stuff in practice, and you know, there's things you can, you know, say of, you know, going like coach. He always says to ride the ball for 8 seconds. You know, a kick, you know, a field goal, I guess you could say, or kickoff. You know, it doesn't usually take longer than 8 seconds to, you know, complete. You go out there and you do it, and so we go through mental reps. We put ourselves in bad situations. You know, the wind's coming in your face, and you know, you're going through it. You're like, hey, I'm prepared for it. You've already done it in my mind, I've already done it on the field. So it's kind of just, you know, going through that kind of stuff.
What's been your biggest challenge